Tonight on News 5 Live, Mayor Bernard Wagner breaks his silence on recent happenings in Belize City Council. He says embattled Deputy Mayor Micah Goodin has 14 days to step down from his post. Jasmine Hartin loses the custody battle for her 2 children. And Prime Minister John Briceño defends government's employment of Courtney Koi and explains Florencia Marin's return. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live for Friday, May 27th. I am Annalyn Apollonia. The Belize City Council met in caucus on Thursday, the first session since Mayor Bernard Wagner returned from a working visit to Barbados. On adjournment, a motion was tabled by Councillor Albert Vaughan to decide the fate of embattled Deputy Mayor Micah Goodin. That motion was supported with one voice by those in attendance. Tonight, Goodin has 14 days to relinquish his seat as Deputy Mayor or face being recalled by his colleagues at City Hall. News 5 went one-on-one with Mayor Wagner, who candidly discussed what took place during the meeting, including Goodin's decision to walk away from the discussion when the motion was placed on the table.
It was brought up yesterday in respect to our Deputy Mayor Goodin. Again, it has been essentially a whole stream of events that really triggered what occurred yesterday in the caucus, where Councillor Vaughan tabled a motion on the adjournment of importance, where he essentially asked for Councillor Goodin to resign from the deputy mayor position, and if not, then he will table that motion within the 14 days as per the Act regulation, and those councillors in that room unanimously supported Councillor Vaughan's motion. 9 councillors. I was a bit disappointed that the deputy mayor chose not to participate in the discussion and have his colleagues hear his end of the story. We have never heard his side of the story, and so he lost an opportunity there to really speak to his colleagues. Councillor Novello, unfortunately, was not in that session. He had an emergency just prior to Councillor Vaughan tabling that motion, and he left. But the other 9 individuals in there, which I am a part of, unanimously supported the motion and triggered that 14 days window for our deputy mayor. The thing is, as elected officials, you have to demonstrate many times restraint and judgment, and we have over the past period of time that the deputy has a series of misjudgments, having a young shadow councillor socializing after hours, drinking. I just believe that when you have young people, liquor, guns, egos, that's a recipe for disaster.
Prior to his departure for Barbados on May 14th, Mayor Wagner informed the council that in the wake of the shooting incident involving Deputy Mayor Goodin, he would retain oversight of the day-to-day operations at City Hall. He says that the decision to remain in charge was in the best interest of employees as well as the sanctity of Sitco.
And there was just to protect my staff at City Hall and to protect the image of the council. I couldn't leave the country, and with all that hanging over the council, my staff being agitated, some of them in anxiety, given the incident that occurred the Friday night, and not knowing if there will be any sort of retaliation. You know how these things are in Belize City, and it's a very small city. And so my staff came to me and they said, listen, we are anxious, we don't feel safe. And so before I left on the Sunday, I quickly sent that email, because you can manage from a distance with the virtual. COVID has taught us that you can still manage from afar, and at the end of the day, Isani, it's a city administrator that does the day-to-day operations of the city, running the city. The mayor just serves as a kind of ceremonial figure. It comes right back to judgment. When you are in public life, you have to carry yourself a certain way. What you used to do, you can't do anymore. And I continuously implore to our councillors that you have to demonstrate high value. You have to have a high value system and restrain yourself. There's many ways you can socialize, but you have to do it in a responsible way, and that is the message.
My understanding yesterday was when this motion was tabled, essentially he was being given until end of day to be able to demit office, feeling that it would then trigger the 14-day window. Has he made any expression that he has in fact, or will in fact, step down from the post of deputy mayor?
To date, I have not received any indication of that. So I do believe now that that 14 days window has begun to roll.
We caught up with Prime Minister John Briceño just before news time in Belmopan. We asked him to weigh in on the internal leadership crisis at City Hall and his relationship with Deputy Mayor Micah Goodin. He says that he has not gotten a chance to speak with Mayor Wagner, but he intends to do so as soon as possible.
I've not had a chance to speak with the mayor as yet, and I do plan to speak with him in the next few days too, and probably even with the councillors, that it is important for us to be able to remember what we were elected for. We were elected to serve the people. In their case, elected to serve the people of Belize City, and that these squabbling between themselves helps no one. It's of no use to the people to the citizens of Belize City. So I'll be meeting with them. I'll be talking with them. You know, we also have some young people in the city council, and it's obvious that they are full of energy and enthusiasm, and sometimes they need to be able to constantly be able to be calm and to think things out. You know, as I always remember what Mr. Price used to say, you know, that he always used to say, el diablo no es sabio por ser diablo, pero por ser viejo, meaning that, you know, you need experience. You know, once you get into these positions of great responsibility, that with experience, then you tend to be more temper your excitement and your energy, and to think things through before you take action.
Can you speak to the man that is Micah Gooding? Have you ever sat down, had conversations with him, met him in person to get a feel of his desire and passion for leadership?
Well, I am in constant communication with Micah Gooding. I consider him a friend, and somebody that I admire very much. You need to look at Micah's story. Micah came out as well from the hoods, from the hood. I think he's from Majestic Alley, from a very, very, very poor family. And here's one man that has picked up himself and has worked hard to be able to be at the point where people elected him twice to the city council, to a man who was also elected as the deputy mayor of Belize City. We need to admire what he has done. But like youth, youth sometimes, we tend to say the right things from time to time, or we slip, but that does not mean that it lessens Micah Gooden as a leader.
So how does Belize City Mayor Bernard Wagner find his way amid the constant personality clashes within his administration? Here's how he responded.
It's a tough job, right? You constantly have to be navigating personalities, egos, and own self-interest. As a mayor, and all previous mayors would tell you the same thing, it's a very stressful job, but we signed up for it. And so we have to deliver for the people, but you have to be able to build consensus and build trust. That is very important. And I live on the value system that we have to trust each other. We have to believe in each other, and at the end of the day, we have to respect each other. And what occurred in the caucus was not a Bernard Wagner decision. It was a collective decision of the councillors there that said, we support the motion that was tabled by Councillor Vaughan.
The entire country was thrust into an unplanned power outage around 5 this evening, and the electricity supplier, BEL, issued notices on its Facebook page. The utility company blamed the power failure on a fault with its Mexican supplier, but assured that teams are working to stabilize power supply by sections to parts of the country using their local sources. BEL advised that during this time, some areas will experience intermittent power outages during the restoration process, and that the entire country is expected to be back on the grid by 7 tonight. Coming up, it's been a year since Superintendent Henry Jamot was shot and killed in San Pedro. His one-year anniversary coincides with the family court decision in the Jasmine Hartin custody battle. Details when we return.
Hello, friends. This is Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Missionary Henry C. Morrison and his wife spent 40 years serving the Lord in Africa. On their way home, they wondered if anyone would remember them and be there to welcome them home. When their boat landed at the New York harbor, there were thousands of people there with signs reading, Welcome home. The bands were playing, the people were cheering, and as the ship docked, the red carpet was rolled out. Little did they know that President Teddy Roosevelt of the United States was also on that ship returning from one of his big game hunting expeditions in Africa. Soon the president and his wife and others disembarked from the ship, and by the time they disembarked, the crowd had dissipated and there was no one there to greet them. Being heavy-hearted, they checked into a cheap hotel for the night, and Henry Morrison said to his wife, Honey, I just don't get it. 40 years you and I poured out our lives for the Lord, and yet we come home and not a single soul cares enough to welcome us home. This man returns from a hunting trip and everybody is there to make over him. Later that night, as Henry Morrison was pouring his heart out in prayer to God, God seemed to say, But Henry, you're not home yet. So dear friend, when life seems to be so unfair and ungrateful, just remember, you're not home yet. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Digit get outside again at the National Agriculture and Trade Show on May 28th and 29th. Booth opens at 8 a.m. with unbeatable deals you won't find anywhere else on the grounds. Get LT devices for guaranteed lowest cash prices with up to $75 free bonus credit. Short on cash? No problem. Choose from our selection of Samsung devices on installment for as low as $49 down and affordable $25 monthly. Some restrictions apply. Make the switch to Digi and purchase a device and get over $150 in free Digi services on your free Digi SIM. Excited yet? Sign up for a DigiNet plan starting at only $49 monthly or get 1 month free when you choose a DigiNet Boost plan. Plus, get half off your bill for 3 months when you make the switch to DigiNet. There's also going to be double and triple up on the grounds. Download, register, and use your DigiWallet at any DigiWallet merchant at Agric for a chance to win DigiCash.
Hello? Oh, you want to know where I'm at? We outside!
Digi, they're outside at Agric 2022 with over $10,000 in raffles and giveaways. Join us live on Digi Facebook Agric Weekend. See you at the Digi booth. Visit livedigi.com/Agric 2022 for more details.
The government of Belize has been blazing a trail and delivering on every milestone of its tax reform program. Iris Belize was launched in 2021 and its second phase is here in 2022. It provides taxpayers and or their representatives with the ability to sign up for Iris Belize. You'll now be able to inquire, file, and pay online. This means that tax clients like you are able to sign up online and get access to individual and companies' tax accounts. No more long lines. Contactless, safe, from support, from the privacy and safety of your homes and offices.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
My name is Wilmer De La Rosa from Santa Elena Town. I am currently a student at Cayo, set for employment training. Enrolled in the electrical installation program. In late July 2021, I got a confirmation that I was a successful applicant and would be granted a scholarship from Social Security Board. It was one of the proudest moments for me. I felt very excited to start this new path in my life. So far on my journey as a Social Security Board scholar, my vocational technical scholarship has assisted me in achieving my life goals in so many ways. For one, it has renewed sense of purpose, another chance at professional development, and a start at a new career. This opportunity has paved the way for me to excel in life as an individual and as a member of society. Great things are coming after I graduate from SET. I can promise you that. Applying for a vocational technical scholarship through the Social Security Board is simple and easy. I would advise young people in need to apply. It is possible to create a fulfilling and fruitful life with a Social Security scholarship. Believe in yourself and your abilities and skills. I always say, the key is to always keep an open mind and let your determination be your motivation.
We live in a world obsessed with the latest trends, fashions, and lifestyles, setting unrealistic expectations and wanting to alter everything about ourselves. How is this affecting our self-worth? What if we were able to silence all the noise and focus on what really matters? Join us right here for Sagebrush Church as we begin our new series, Identity Theft, where we will discuss how to live in a world with ever-changing standards of perfection.
From the first day I met you, I knew my life was going to take a turn for the better, but I never knew just how much that was going to be. I've experienced things with you that I never thought possible. You showed me the beauty in the simplest things, and I've come to appreciate them immensely. I look at myself snuggling up at home with you and watching movies on a Friday night, or taking an evening stroll by the sea, and I'm reeling with excitement like it's the first time, every time. With you I can just be myself, and I consider myself so lucky to be able to experience that comfort in our relationship. You somehow always manage to turn every day into a special occasion, a skill I absolutely commend you for. In my time with you so far, you've made me realize a lot about myself, and an important one is that my world is what it is because I have you in it, and I would very much like to keep you in it. So now I have only one question for you. Turn around.
Compostable plastics. To understand what a compostable plastic is, we need to know that composting is a natural way to recycle decomposed organic material like oranges or banana peels. So, a compostable plastic is similar to the banana peel in the sense that it also undergoes biological decomposition in a compost site and doesn't leave any toxic residue. In fact, it breaks down into carbon dioxide, water, inorganic compounds, and biomass at a similar rate of compostable materials. This is great because once properly disposed of, compostable plastic food packaging would be broken down in a manner much kinder to the environment compared to plastics. The recycled materials would return to Earth quickly and safely as soil when disposed of in the right environmental conditions and temperatures. It's important to note that for decomposition to occur, all compostable products must reach a sanitary landfill where there is proper management of the waste through disposal and treatment. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
The opposition has written to the government of Belize under the Freedom of Information Act, requesting full disclosure on how much the government is paying Courtney Koyi, LLP, in legal fees. PM Briceño defended the government's decision to continuously retain the services of his minister's law firm, arguing that they are the best in the business and as such enables the government to put its best defense forward.
I am sometimes lost for words when people like Senator Michael Perifit would ask these questions, because their hypocrisy knows no bounds. I do not remember him crying out when the affiliates of the Barrow administration, Barrow and Williams, Barrow and Company, Lois Barrow, Young, and others that are closely linked to the Prime Minister back then were being paid millions of dollars. I don't remember Michael Perifit at any time screaming out that, why is it that we're paying these people millions of dollars? So that their hypocrisy knows no bounds. But as I said 2 days ago, we have nothing to hide. We believe that the UDP taking out all of these cases simply to try to tie our hands, and we need to put our best defense possible. It is no secret that Courtney and Koyi is considered the best, I repeat, law firm. Michael Perifit's law firm can't clean their shoes. So what did he expect us to hire him to defend us against his boss, his party leader, Dean Barrow. Please, man, we have to be real. Now they have asked for the information, and we are going to make the information available. We have nothing to hide, but I've asked the financial secretary to come up with a list to see what we have paid out, but at the same time, for the Belizeans could see what is it that the work that they're doing, and also for them to realize that we're spending all of this money because the UDP continues and the former Prime Minister continue to take out case after cases against the government.
Prime Minister John Briceño confirmed that the government of Belize is contracting former Deputy Prime Minister Florencio Marin Sr. as an advisor in the Ministry of Agriculture. PM Briceño justified the decision by arguing that Florencio Marin Sr. is one of the most knowledgeable persons on the ever-tense relationship between sugarcane farmers and ASR-BSI. As a result, Florencio Marin Sr. is being tasked with representing the government in ongoing negotiations for a collective bargaining agreement between both parties. Here is how he puts it.
When Jules Vasquez's father, the late Ned Vasquez, was hired as executive chairman for BTL and was paid close to $250,000. Imagine, $250,000 to be the executive chairman of BTL. I did not hear Jules Vasquez criticizing it. I did not hear Michael Perrefit criticizing it. I did not hear anybody in the UDP criticizing it. And he was in that position for probably, 9-10 years? So you could imagine the amount of monies that the late Ned Vasquez collected. And he was, about 85 years old, almost 90 years old. Again, when it comes to former Deputy Prime Minister Florencio Marin, we hired him. This is a man that gave his entire life, all of his best years as to public service. He represented the people of Corozal Southeast for almost 50 years, and he worked in government for probably as much as 40 years. Now, everybody knows that Florencio Marin is one of the most knowledgeable persons when it comes to relations between the cane farmers and BSI. We had, at the end of 2021 in December, we had a strike by the farmers, and they shut down the mill for almost about a week. The factory claims that they lost about $1 million. Farmers lost probably the same. And we believe that at this critical moment, when the farmers and BSI continue to negotiate for a commercial agreement, that it is important that we can have someone that is able to speak to both parties and to keep them together without fighting. We are investing $36,000 for the entire year in paying Florencio Marin. We're not paying him $250,000 the way the UDP did to Nestor Vasquez, who was about 90 years old.
Minister of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, Hossein Mai, played a critical role in brokering an intervention between sugarcane farmers and ASR-BSI back in December of 2021. So, if Minister Mai has shown that he is prepared to act as a mediator between both parties, why are the services of former Deputy Prime Minister Florencio Marin needed? This is what we asked PM Briceño.
Minister Mai, who did some interventions during the last strike, not capable of continuing this type of effort, and I asked that to ask, is Minister Marin, former minister, really needed?
Absolutely, you could ask that question. Basically, it was Minister Mai and myself that we had to spend probably about 3 days in negotiations. Now, Minister Mai is not only the minister for the sugar industry, he's the Minister of Agriculture, Food Security, Enterprise. So he has the big picture to look after. And right now, because of the tensions between the farmers and BSI-ASR, he would not have the time to dedicate to that every single day. So we believe that by bringing in Florencio Marin Sr., he will be able to take care of that problem for us whilst we continue to push agriculture. Look at what we've done.
Canadian national Jasmine Hartin has lost the custody battle for the 5-year-old twin she shares with Andrew Ashcroft. News 5 has confirmed that on Wednesday, Director of the Belize Family Court, Dale Cayetano, handed down a decision granting legal custody of the children to Andrew Ashcroft. That decision was handed down at the Belize Family Court, and we have confirmed that Hartin and her attorney were absent from the hearing despite being notified of the court date. Contrary to what is reported elsewhere, Hartin has not been stripped of visitation rights. We can confirm that Hartin's attorney has already applied to the Supreme Court to dismiss the ruling, claiming judgmental bias on part of the family court director, who, along with Commissioner of Police Chester Williams, was the subject of an alleged hit purportedly conspired by Hartin herself. The legal battle for the custody of the twins began 10 months ago, back in July 2021, following the shooting death of senior cop Henry Jamot, for which Hartin was charged with manslaughter. More news after the break.
Member owners of the Holy Redeemer Credit Union Limited. Your credit union cordially invites you to attend its 78th AGM on Saturday, May 28th, commencing at 2 p.m. sharp at the Belize Civic Center. Come listen to important reports and information about your credit union and learn what plans for the future are in the making. Currently, we have over 61,000 members with assets of $684.2 million. Although the country is beginning to open up slowly, COVID-19 protocols will still be observed at the Belize Civic Center, especially those of social distancing and the wearing of face masks. In keeping you safe, this year's business meeting will be fast-paced so as not to be inside the venue longer than we need to be. Please make every effort to attend your 78th HRCU AGM. And remember to bring along your HRCU passbook, a valid photo ID, and your COVID-19 vaccination card to be able to gain access to the venue. HRCU, making a difference in people's lives.
Save, it will make you rich someday.
Necesitas un proveedor de servicio móvil que te permita estar conectado con una cobertura LTE rápida y confiable en cualquier instante y desde cualquier lugar. ¿Quieres hablar con tu familia? ¿Compartir tus experiencias con alguien especial? ¿Administrar tu pequeña empresa? Para todo lo que necesites te mereces la mejor experiencia móvil. Ahora puedes hacer mucho más con los planes de datos postpago aumentados de Digi. Puedes disfrutar de 8 GB de datos en cualquier instante por tan solo $55 mensuales. O puedes compartir hasta 120 GB con 6 de tus amigos más cercanos. Estos son más datos LTE para que disfrutes durante el día, por las noches y los fines de semana sin restricciones. Disfruta a lo máximo con más datos para llamadas y mensajes ilimitados en todos los planes postpago de Digi. Visita la tienda Digi más cercana para inscribirte hoy. Solo necesitas una identificación válida y un comprobante de domicilio. Únete a la red de mayor velocidad y cobertura en Belice. Para más información visita nuestra página web www.livedigi.com o envíanos un mensaje a través de WhatsApp o Facebook. Digi, nuestra telecomunicación nacional.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
After a rough week of school, Jake and his friends decide to treat themselves to frozen coffee. And since they don't have cash on them, they decide to use eCash. With eCash's geolocation feature, Jake can easily find the nearest coffee spot. With eCash's built-in option to split bills, Jake can pay the bill and his friends can reimburse their portion of the bill. Jake scans the merchant's code and confirms payment. Jake then views his transaction history and taps on the transaction recently made, then taps the split the bill button where he selects the evenly option to evenly split the bill. The application splits the bill automatically. His friends receive and accept the request. Geolocation and splitting the bill via eCash makes Jake enjoy his digital lifestyle.
Dwayne Moody, Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 police teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 believes on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
Donaldson Filtration Solutions is a company that comes with over a century of innovation and offering filters for a cleaner world. To keep your machines and equipment running in the toughest conditions, you need filters that work as hard as you do. Donaldson offers hydraulic filters, air filters, fuel filters, lube filters, and anything needed to keep your machine pristine. Come to your nearest Westrack Limited store for Donaldson filters and whatever your industrial or trucking needs might be.
Tomorrow marks 1 year since the shooting death of senior cop Henry Jemot, which occurred in San Pedro on May 28, 2021. His family continues to mourn his death as his alleged killer, Jasmine Hartin, goes back and forth to court for a charge of manslaughter which was slapped on her following the incident. This weekend, a Discover Plus documentary is scheduled to be aired on the incident where Hartin, for the first time, admits to lying initially and gives a recount of what happened on that tragic morning. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Speculation remains abound about what really happened on that pier in San Pedro that morning when senior cop Superintendent Henry Jemot was shot dead. Tonight, the woman accused of the manslaughter of the well-known police officer is breaking her silence once again on what transpired on that tragic morning. Jasmine Hartin says Jemot wanted her to get comfortable handling a gun.
I had the magazine. I was just emptying it and reloading it without it being in the weapon. It was like a game to see how fast I could, just with the magazine and the bullets, take them out and then put them back in. And then when he took the bullets and put them to his left, I had the empty magazine, fully empty, and I popped it in, and then I put it down.
Immediately following the fatal shooting on May 28, 2021, news spread like wildfire that Superintendent Jemot was dead, shot in the head as he socialized on a pier in San Pedro with a woman who was later identified as Jasmine Hartin.
Mr. Jemot and a female were socializing on a pier somewhere in San Pedro. This was after 12:30 a.m. thereabout, which would be during curfew time, when one single gunshot was heard. And upon investigating, police found the female on a pier, and she had what appeared to be blood on her arms and on her clothing. And inside the waters, right near the pier, police recovered the lifeless body of Mr. Jemot with one apparent gunshot wound behind the right ear.
As the night unfolded, the Canadian national says that she ended up behind Jamaat massaging his shoulders, and then while attempting to hand over the gun to the senior cop, the gun went off.
I lean forward, I pick it up, I'm trying to get the magazine out. I'm still sitting, he's still sitting. I'm using the moon to see, and I'm pushing to try to get the magazine out, and it was like it was stuck. I don't ever remember touching the trigger at all. Next thing I know, the gun goes off.
It contradicts initial statements made by Hartin that a gunman in a kayak had fired shots in their direction. She says she lied out of panic.
One of the first stories that we heard that was attributed to Jasmine was that there was a paddle-by shooting, that someone paddled by in a kayak and shot him.
Everything is so wrong. The media said that, oh, she said it was a passing boat and someone fired a shot.
Once the adrenaline settled down, once I calmed down, once everything hit me, then I was like, no, like this, I remember what happened. Like, it was an accident.
Jasmine Hartin changed her stories. Now, who knows when she's actually telling the truth? Who can believe her?
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
As we reported on Thursday, Belize has been classified as a high-risk category destination for travelers by the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The classification for Belize came along with 5 other countries to level 3 or high risk for COVID-19. The level 3 COVID-19 high category applies to countries that have had more than 100 cases per 100,000 residents in the past 28 days. Today, News 5 checked in with the Belize Tourism Board's Director of Cruise Quality Management and Capacity Development, Abil Castaneda, to find out how this can potentially affect Belize's primary income earner.
It's part of the ongoing realities that we face still being in a pandemic. If you recall, I think it was in April that we were reduced to level 2 at that time because our cases were very low. So just to understand, this high-risk level is somewhat of an advisory that the U.S. CDC provides to anybody that's thinking about traveling out of the U.S. Every other major destination in our region, stemming from Costa Rica, Brazil, Barbados, all of them are within the level 3 status. And so this is a part of our market reality now that we have to face. And so what we do at the BTB is continue to push these strategic marketing campaigns, as the recent announcement of Belize being featured on Sports Illustrated, that is going to multiply significantly in terms of getting interest in visitations in Belize.
Castaneda says that despite the high-risk classification that Belize has received, it has not and hopefully will not negatively impact our tourism arrivals.
The reality is that up to today, we have not really received any sort of negative impact from our industry, any sort of cancellations, and we believe that will continue based on the trends that we saw in January with Omicron, when that wave happened. We believe that we would have had a more drastic impact at that time, but that didn't necessarily materialize. So we are very optimistic, but it's again part of the realities that we continue to face. We're also looking at inviting some of the top influencers on social media to Belize to keep Belize and its brand as a part of top of mind. This is the market that we are currently working and we try to strive in. And so these are the ways in which we seek to minimize the impact, if any, on advisory like this.
There has been some controversy at City Hall regarding the purported awarding of a contract to Cartouche Trucking for the expansion of the Eternal Garden Cemetery at Mile 13 on the George Price Highway. The councillor, whose responsibility includes cemeteries, has come forward to voice his objection in other parts of the media. While we were told that the motion had to be presented at caucus for a decision to be taken on the awarding of the contract, the matter was never tabled during Thursday's meeting. Nonetheless, we asked Mayor Wagner about the situation involving a company belonging to Councillor Kaya Katuse's father.
In respect to the issue with the Eternal Garden, that was not tabled yesterday either. But in my view, the council will always lean towards the bid that has the more affordable price. Even though there has been this aspersion that it's a conflict of interest with Councillor Katuse, I do believe that there are provision in the Act which speaks to those individuals recusing themselves from the vote. So it gives you that opportunity. But at the end of the day, my biggest thing is about pricing. We are not a rich council, right? And if I can save, be it 50 cents or be it, I will always more lean towards the more affordable pricing for the council. But again, that motion was never tabled yesterday.
Mayor Wagner returned from a recent trip to Barbados earlier this week. While he met with other Commonwealth officials during his visit, Mayor Wagner also took the opportunity to experience that country's e-transit system, a mode of electric transportation that he intends to introduce in Belize. He describes that part of his trip.
It was twofold. What that trip did was brought many of the Commonwealth Caribbean countries together to share experiences post-COVID, what worked for them, what never worked, how we can build back better. Belize City was well represented. Belize, the country, actually was well represented. We had 4 mayors from Belize participating in the conference. But it also gave my team the opportunity to really view the electric buses. As you know, Barbados is big on e-transit. They are big on solar energy. And we had the opportunity through UNDP, they funded that part of the trip, the extension of the trip, to have us see and really ride the buses to see how they interact with the roads in Barbados. Barbados roads are similar to Belize, and so we had a lot of takeaways from that experience, which we intend to apply when we do have our rollout of our e-transit system in Belize.
Earlier this week, the Cabinet announced its decision to defer any fees associated with the trade license bill for local entertainers while consultations continue. Cabinet says that in the interim, it will conduct further consultations to develop incentives for the creative sector. Earlier this evening, we asked PM Briceño about this latest decision.
I don't think it's a matter that we've walked back the trade license bill. Remember, this has been in the works from probably 2018. That's not something that we came up with. This is the work of the municipal bodies. And obviously, when you look now at the issue of trade of entertainers, it was worded badly. I think it was never the intention of the councils to be able to be taxing entertainers for every single gig that they do. It was more looking at international entertainers, that they have the ability to be able to tax them. But Minister Mala, when he looked at what he's doing right now in San Pedro, where he's bringing some international entertainers and also hiring a whole slew of young Belizean talent to be able to perform in the same stage, felt that maybe we should take the opportunity to take a pause when it comes to that tax for local entertainers, because I still believe we should tax international entertainers, but to look at, see how is it, or what kind of support that we can give our young entertainers.
Brad's Gaming Company Limited is challenging the government of Belize over a recent amendment to the Lotteries Control Regulations, which legislates a 12.5% tax on Bolida, lottery, and jackpot. PM Briceño reasons that the new tax will see the government collect millions of dollars in revenue. He criticized the former administration for not seeking to collect these taxes and as a result foregoing millions in potential tax revenue. The first hearing before the Supreme Court was held on Monday, and today we asked PM Briceño to weigh in on the legal battle.
Certainly, I believe that the Bolido slash lottery was a sweetheart deal, and everybody could have predicted who would have gotten that contract in 2020. And as we've been going through that agreement, we've noticed that the government and the people of Belize are foregoing millions of dollars in taxes, and it is not right for a small group of people to be able to get away with that. We're estimating at the 12.5% tax, which is what everybody is paying. We would be able to collect an additional $6 million. In 10 years, we gave up $60 million to Brads and to other people that are closely connected to the former Prime Minister. Your question, why is it that the former Prime Minister is defending this case, and why is it that his son Anwar Barrow is paying so much attention to this case that he logged on to the first hearing of that case? So we know that we're doing the right thing. We believe that everybody should pay some of their taxes, because with the taxes we help our young people, education, health, fighting COVID, investing in Belize. So we believe we're convinced that we're doing the right thing.
Charges have still not been filed against anyone at St. Francis Xavier Credit Union following an alleged assault on two of the credit union's supervisory committee members. Chairperson of the committee, Mayet Castillo, was part of a panel that called a press conference on Thursday to explain what transpired on Wednesday when the incident allegedly happened. The contention started last month when the credit union's general manager, Rafael Dominguez, was reportedly fired 10 days before his contract expired, and the credit union management appointed a human resources committee to take on the responsibilities of the elected supervisory committee. Credit union members, along with the supervisory committee officers, have protested and objected to what they call illegal activities within the management. They, along with Dominguez, have maintained that there have been instances of embezzlement that have occurred, and that when Dominguez attempted to fire someone on those grounds, the management stopped him and fired him instead. On Thursday, Castillo called a press briefing and explained that the committee members were at the credit union on Wednesday doing their usual work when a member of the institution's management entered the room and grabbed her by the throat and the arm and shouted that he did not want them there. She said the credit union official took possession of her phone and threw it to the ground before he proceeded to strike fellow committee member Jorge Cobb with a chair and then with his fists. Cobb reportedly sought medical attention and has received stitches for a wound on his left ear. Castillo said they went to file reports with the Corozal police station, but a check with the police department revealed that they are investigating the matter. Castillo implored the central bank as the regulatory body for financial institutions to intervene in the ongoing contention.
And central bank needs to carry the role as our regulators of this institution, because I have informed, and Mr. Cobb and I informed the governor as yesterday when we came out from the police station. This is the email that we sent to central bank. So we leave it in their hands to see if they are effective and they can do what they're supposed to be doing.
The central bank has informed News 5, however, that they will not intervene in the affairs of the credit union since it is a private entity. Previously, the central bank issued a press release in which it informed that another release issued by some members of the credit union earlier this month titled "Long Overdue Annual General Meeting Contravenes the Law." Some members of the credit union had been planning to hold their own special meeting and their own annual general meeting as well, on grounds that if they had sufficient members in quorum in agreement with the plan, it would be legal. The central bank release also stated that the registrar of credit unions, who happens to be the governor of the central bank, was aware of the dispute between the credit union board of directors and the former general manager, Rafael Dominguez. Furthermore, the registrar was also aware of, quote, persistent unauthorized actions of some members of St. Francis Xavier Credit Union Limited, unquote. When we return, News 5 takes to the street to get the polls of the people on vaccinating kids 11 years and under. Stay with us.
Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Channel 5 Belize. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Channel 5 Belize.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
In less than 24 hours, the Ministry of Health and Wellness will be receiving 124,800 doses of Pfizer vaccine approved for children ages 5 to 11. Those vaccines, with the assistance of the Ministry of Education, will be administered in schools to the students who fall within that age range starting this Monday, but not without consent from parents. Previously, when those 12 to 17 were to get their vaccines, it was met with some resistance from parents. So today, News 5's Dwayne Moody went downtown to poll parents about this round of vaccinations for kids.
Reactions from parents are a mixed bag on whether or not they would give consent for their children ages 5 to 11 to be vaccinated against COVID-19. There are those who flatly said no.
Nope.
Why not?
I don't think they need it. Well, I mean, kid immune system more stronger. They could fight it off, you know. Younger they is, the stronger the immune system. I don't really think they kids, that's just my opinion.
So as a parent, your child in school, you're not going to sign that consent form?
That's right.
In my point of view, I will say no, not right now, maybe later on.
Can you explain to me why?
Well, why? Because the side effect of it, I don't think it will work for my kids.
On the other hand, there are those parents who, having been fully vaccinated themselves, say they want that additional layer of protection for their children. They speak to getting children safely back into the classrooms for face-to-face instructions.
I said make it just get vaccinated doing, because then there's like a regular vaccine you get between the age of 0 to 5. And if it prevents her from having COVID, then I really want my kid back in a school. Because the online schooling that they do here, they benefit as in face-to-face would.
I have 2 children under the age, in the age range of 5 to 11. And I will allow them to take the vaccine because I see it as being very important, because this pandemic ain't going nowhere in my view. And things is getting worse, so we have to think about their best interest. Because I took the vaccine, I took both of them even up to the boost, so why not let my children they do it? All right, everything is about their safety and the safety of my elders who are around me also.
So no hesitation.
No hesitation on my part.
And then you have parents that are indecisive. Shanice says that she is not against her son getting the COVID vaccine. She simply needs to give it more thought.
Well, my son is 10 and I'm fully vaccinated, and so far nothing is wrong. I have not just basic flu symptoms. But a child system is recommended. I will, and if it's okay, get their feedback, I will let my child do it.
Now, this is supposed to start on Monday. Will you sign your consent form?
I have to think about it. I have the weekend to think about it.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
The National Agriculture and Trade Show is back. The weekend event kicked off this evening with an official ceremony in Belmopan. Her Excellency Froila Salam, the Governor General of Belize, Prime Minister John Briceño, a host of government ministers, officials, and dignitaries were all in attendance. The ceremony featured cultural performances, and the 3 Farmers of the Year received sashes in recognition of their awards. Here is a brief look at PM Briceño's remarks from the podium.
So I'm happy to be a part of this ceremony. I congratulate Minister Mai and everyone at the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise on this occasion, the 50th Agricultural Show. I know for the past 13 years, usually the Minister of Agriculture was somebody that was not in favor with the Prime Minister. And agriculture was never given that importance that it should play in the development of our country. When we were setting up our cabinet, we felt that Abi Mai, agrónomo, hasta doctor le dicen tiempo de vez en cuando, al doctor o ingeniero, all kinds of titles you get, Abi, was the right person to be able to lead this ship, to be the Minister of Agriculture. And I must commend him and his team for what they have done in such a short time. Thanks to the work that Abi has done, and he has been working before in the Ministry of Agriculture, that he knew exactly what needed to be done to get agriculture back on track. So Abi, congrats to you and to your entire team that you've managed to put together to be able to get us back on track. And as we said earlier, that agriculture has led the economic resurgence during the COVID pandemic.
Baseline Sports out of the U.S. annually hosts a basketball event where young athletes from across the world would converge for an opportunity to be scouted by basketball clubs and universities. Last year, 6 Belizean athletes traveled to Las Vegas for the event, and 2 were scouted. Unfortunately, the athletes did not sign for various reasons. But this year around, a group of 14 plans to attend the June 2022 event being hosted once again in Las Vegas. News 5's Dwayne Moody caught up with the group as they practiced at the Mexico Sports Center on Thursday night.
For the past 3 weeks, a group of talented players from Belize City have been training at the Mexico Sports Center, polishing their basketball skills and techniques as they prepare to attend this year's Baseline Sports Recruitment Program in Las Vegas in late June. Rodvel Gladden, who represents the organization here in Belize, is readying the athletes for an opportunity to be selected.
We have people from overseas, coaches and owners from overseas that are coming in to see these guys and give these guys opportunities if they believe that they are good enough to play on their team.
Now, this is not the first time that Belize is going to one of these professional camps. Let's talk about it.
Well, we did it last year, right? It was a little bit of success because one of the guys got offered a contract. Unfortunately, he didn't go to his destination, but we're hoping that more contracts come out this year.
Gladden says that this year the numbers are up from 6 to 14 athletes who will make the journey. The training has been intense, but it is to get these basketball athletes into top shape to compete against others who will be attending the pro camp. Gabriel Taylor was among the athletes attending. Once again, he shares his experience.
The level of basketball definitely different over there. The way how you could see that the players they bred different, the way how they eat, the way how they talk about the game. The entire experience different.
So how have you been preparing yourself for this?
Well, based upon the experience that we had the last time around, we kind of had conversations with the guys there, you know, pick their mind, probe them a little bit more just to try prepare ourselves, and then we kind of take what we learned from them and apply it to what we already had going on.
For Justin Bailey from Belize City, this is his first experience and he plans to make the best of it.
My coach put me through some heavy workout, some unusual workout. I never been through this workout before. So the man pushed me for me to get to the best condition of what we got, you know. So, and a short time span we got, but so they push me, you know.
Is this something that you've had a passion for? Have you been playing basketball?
Well, yes, I've been playing basketball a long time from in high school, but at the time when I was in high school, I didn't get the opportunity to play on a basketball team, right? So I didn't get the exposure like what I wanted to from a young age.
Taylor and Bailey are looking for similar opportunities.
We go for what opportunity were more along the lines of what we could actually benefit from in terms of, you know, the language, the food, the culture, or something similar to what we have going on, rather than going to a new experience.
Right now, it's a new experience for me because it's my first time going out, right? And by the invitation that I got, I was excited because finally I get the exposure, you understand? So now, going across that side there, I did look for seek opportunities, you know? Eventually I could get somewhere far.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
The CONCACAF Games are about a month away, and the national team is in camp training for the event. Today, Football Federation of Belize National Team Director Ian Jones told News 5 that Belize has some very good players to put us in the spotlight.
90% of our players come from the FFB Top League or the Premier League in Belize, and they have just concluded a very high-intensity season, a very competitive season. So all the players have come into camp in optimal condition. Then we have our foreign-based players who all are playing at very high levels. With two of these teams that we are going to play in this round, despite them having professional players from all over the world, we've defeated both of them in the past. We defeated both the Dominican Republic and French Guyana in the past. Our toughest match in this group will be Guatemala. And if you look at our statistics when playing Guatemala, despite them being or having more professional clubs, when you meet Guatemala, you know you're playing for country.
FFB's National Team Director Ian Jones says that what they are doing at the FFB is preparing youths for bigger and better chances at shining at the prime-time level when they get to that stage in the next few years.
We will be trying to target from under 10. We've already started it on a small level, but we want to make it national. Whereas we have to start from that age range and build them right up until they reach a senior team. But look at the reality of it. If you have a child right now who's under 10 and we're developing the child from then, at what age will that child be playing at the senior national team? Probably when he or she reaches 18, 19, 20. That's an 8 to 10 year development plan that we have to put in place.
Clyde's is a Broadway play about a truck stop sandwich shop that offers its formerly incarcerated kitchen staff a chance at redemption. The play features, among a host of incredible actors, Belizean-American actor Cara Young. She plays the role of a formerly incarcerated mother, Letitia, who spent time behind bars for stealing medication for her sick daughter. Throughout the play, Letitia discovers her creativity and learns to let go of the past. Now, Young is nominated for a Tony Award for Best Performance by an actress in a featured role in a play for her role in Clyde's. The award recognizes excellence in Broadway theater. News 5's Paul Lopez spoke with Young via Zoom. Here is that story.
You do last night? I rang you twice.
Never mind what I did. It was done.
You missed out.
So it goes.
No, really, you missed out.
Yes, I did, but I had real things to do.
Cara Young made her Broadway debut in Clydes, a play written by 2 Pulitzer Prize winners. She has been nominated for a Tony Award for Best Performance by an actress in a featured role in a play for her role in Clydes. Young plays Letitia, a formerly incarcerated mother seeking redemption.
I play Letitia, who is a formerly incarcerated mother of a sick child, and she stole seizure medication to save her daughter, and so it's sort of a conflicting sort of shame that she has being away for the amount of time that she was away, and now she's back and really sort of grappling with survival and being a good mother and feeling like, you know, she's really trying not to fail. She's doing everything in her power not to fail, yet everything seems to be failing her.
Letitia encounters other past inmates employed by Clyde's Kitchen. There she learns to hone and embrace her creativity while making sandwiches.
Whatever.
Is there something I can help you with?
I don't think so.
Something wrong? Every time I look up, you're staring at me.
Well, excuse me. If you don't want to be looked at, I suggest you make better cosmetic choices.
It's the place in which she gets to be a creator, be a creative, and really learn to own her creativity in a certain way with the help of her shaman-like teacher, Montrellis, who's played by the incredible Ron Cephas Jones, and also learning a lot from her peers, Raphael, who's played by Reza Salazar, and Jason, who's played by Edmund Donovan, and as well as weighing the way that the system has hardened someone like Clyde, who's played by Uzo Aduba, because I feel like, you know, in the journey of Letitia, I like to think that she is literally not weighing the good and the bad per se, but weighing the way that society has hardened people.
Cara Young decided to pursue a career in acting after she and one of her classmates did an improvisation for a college presentation, which left the entire classroom in tears.
And there was something inside of me. Like I had been doing acting as an extracurricular activity. You know, I went into musical theater and like did all of these things because I just loved to do it. But in that moment, I was like, this is special. Something is special about this.
Both of Young's parents, as well as her grandparents, were born and raised in Belize. Her mother was once crowned Queen of the Bay, and her grandmother was once crowned Miss Belize.
Just that I was born in New York and raised in New York. Both of my parents are from Belize. My grandparents are Joan and David Jenkins, and my other grandparents are Sonia and Evan Young. So Sonia Davis and Evan Young. So I have lots of beautiful roots in Belize. And my mother was Queen of the Bay. My aunt was Queen of the Bay. My grandmother was Miss Belize.
The Tony's luncheon, where nominations are announced, was held at the Rainbow Room, where Cara's father had been working hospitality for the past 3 decades. Cara told us that the moment when her father was given a standing ovation by the audience for his support, it encapsulated what the Tony's nominations means to her.
They were naming all of the nominees per category, and they got to my name, and then Emilio Sosa, who is one of the chairmen of the American Theater Wing, also added that he came into rehearsal for this, and there was a gentleman and who was beaming with pride and said that his daughter was nominated for a Tony, and his name was Clay Young. And then preceding that, my father walks out and the entire room gives him a standing ovation. And in that moment, Paul Lopez, I felt like This is what this moment is. You know, this is the core of what this moment means.
But being incarcerated taught me two things. Number one, I love freedom. And number two, you have to fight to protect your freedom. Yo. Truly.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Just ahead, on the bright side with Sabrina, a look at philanthropist Dara Robinson's latest initiative when we return.
Download the SmartStream app on the Android Play Store and create your account to get access to movies and stream at home or on the go. Prepaid customers can purchase regular data packages or get a discounted rate on a special SmartStream package by dialing 7737. Postpaid customers will be billed monthly. Never miss a movie again with SmartStream.
National Agriculture and Trade Show is back. Visit the Next Gen booth for exclusive deals and discount on our Next Gen service bundles, high-speed internet, and more. Come experience a cinema setup and watch the Champions League finals on a big screen. We're bringing you great service and entertainment to the 2022 showgrounds. We'll see you there. Next Gen, the ultimate digital experience.
It's the last weeks of school, another school year engulfed in the chaos of COVID. Students will wind down in the few weeks granted to enjoy what is an altered version of summer break, while teachers will prepare for the new school year. The clock is ticking, and for one person the children and school system rely on, summer is a critical period of preparation. In this week's Look on the Bright Side, Sabrina traveled to the rural north to meet a well-known champion of child hunger.
His work in altruism goes back to the early 2000s. Good Samaritan, humanitarian, philanthropist, a man for others, or however you identify him, the benevolent Joel Dara Robinson has made his mark through his efforts in feeding the needy. He was presented the Spirit of Ubuntu Award for the means of which he fundraised for his program, Tributes to Reggae Legends. He hosted food drives and even cycling events to ride for hunger. In 2011, he was named an unsung hero by the former First Caribbean Bank.
Dara was always this guy who wanted to help people. And I was always wondering why a guy with no job, he was a football referee at the time, wanted to help people. And he had a passion about feeding kids. And then I later learned that he is an experienced victim of such, and he feels passionate about it. He knows what it feels like to go to school hungry.
But behind the accolades, to run the Dara feeding program, there needs to be food.
Well, right now, basically I have chicken, ducks, guinea hen, turkey. I gone into sheep. I want to go into some pig. I even raise rabbit, because here rabbit meat healthy. Back there, they raise 250 layers where I want to put on the market directly egg at a better price that people could support my egg. And then after the chicken are ready for get through the layer, they are turned through in hen, and we use the chicken for the feeding program.
The idea, says Ras Dara, is to have the feeding program sustain itself. On a travel to the rural north of Belize district, we met Dara at his recently established farm in Hillbank Village. It started 3 years ago as a way to pass the time during the pandemic. But Dara realized he may have stumbled on the golden ticket to save his feeding program.
Everything I do, I put my all, because I don't like fail. I put my all, then if it not work, it not work. And I think if you can do this, and you do it, and you really want to do it, you want to see the end of it, man. And I just struggle with it, but I just say already when if this grow, money could come out and this could sustain me better than one concert or one ride.
Dara's feeding program has served as many as 50 students from nearby schools in his community. For many, he is the one sure meal a student will get and a reason to attend school to eat.
And I see the importance of that program because picnic on enough time when we just do it, gas pain. They can't eat, you have to go and get them alka-seltzer plus something to make them bring up that gas. We got a lot of horror story where I not say because that, you know, yes, sometimes good for certain things, but when a lot of things happen, I myself am one victim of the very same thing I fight for. Not every day we go to school hungry, but most of the time we used to go to school and have lunch, and then teachers will ask like what you have for lunch, and many times for make I was 15 and get teas or thing, you just make up one food for just 15 when enough time we not eat. That's my life story, and I find out that in 10 days and time now, kids still they go through that, so I just champion it, and I say I don't want to talk, I want to do something about it, and I've been championing it for 13 years.
Close friend and supporter of the feeding program, Kwame Scott, has been part of the movement since its inception.
The Bob Marley tribute started before the feeding program. It has always been, since I'm on the ground, that after an event, most of the times we have a sustained surplus that lasts for a month, 6 weeks. After that, everyone forgets about Dara until the next event, basically, and the donations stop coming in. And then I have been the recipient of calls on a Sunday, boy, we don't got much more chicken left and the rice is done. I don't know if we could make it through this week, make us what we could do, make us who we could ask, and bear in mind in this also, Dara has a family to feed. So, not being able to sustain sometimes is stressful, and I always tell Dara, I admire him because although I've been at his right and left hand, we've fought, we've been through the rough, we've enjoyed the bitter with the sweet. I go home. He lives at a yard where people come to the gate looking for food, times of the day, times of the night.
Dara is gearing up for his yearly fundraisers, but acknowledges that his age is making it harder to maintain the same energy he once had.
But this bigger than me. You understand? Like I said, I willing any day for work with the government, work with anybody where want. But I reach an age now where I just want to manage that because I not got the same energy. I want to look out for them kids because I don't promise them tell us shit me. I am on the death for them. But you only could do that for them when you yourself, the struggle and want help, that one tough thing. You only could help when you have the necessary for help, you know?
Sometimes when there's a surplus of a donation, maybe someone from out in the state would give a donation, send a barrel or so. Dara makes it his business to bag off the stuff and goes through the whole on the London Bridge and the whatever area of the city and give to some of the most needy. So what can I say about a guy whose heart is so big, other than that, may he be blessed. I will assist for as long as I can.
My vision right now for my rest of life, the farming, you know, for make this work and sustain what they do in my future.
Looking on the bright side, I'm Sabrina Daly.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available in both text and streaming video at channel5belize.com. You can also connect with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/News5Live. I'm Annalyn Apollonia. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, please remember to wash your hands, keep your social distance, and stay safe. Good night.